Hi, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to actually show you what to do when you have a replacement storm door that gets damaged like this. Most of the time, if you know the company that manufactures the door, the storm door, you can order a new storm door for it. But in this particular case, there is no name brand on the door itself, so we don't really have much of a choice. Two choices we have. One, we can send it and have somebody make this screen for us, custom made, which custom made, what that's going to cost you. Or you can go to some of the big box stores and they sell stuff like this here. This is actually the channel that you see right here. This channel and this channel. Now, if we're going to do this side over here, we're going to make sure that this lip right here is to the inside as this one is. So what we do is we buy these channels and we buy the end caps that actually go in the channels. And here is where the end caps go. They go right in here. They go right in the end right here and join the two of them together. So what we're going to do first before we do anything is we're going to make sure we have all of the material that we need. We're going to have a piece of wood such as this that we can cut the channel on top of it. We're going to have a hacksaw to cut the metal. We need a ruler, a pencil, and of course then we need the screen material to put back into it. This is the screen material. It comes in a very, very long roll, and you can, once you get the door put back together, then you just stretch this out on it and we put the screen back in. But I will show you how to do this in a little bit, but this, you're going to need a screen material as long and as wide as the door is. You're going to need a tool such as this to install the screen. You're going to need some spline, is called. This actually goes in here to actually secure the screen to the door itself. We're going to need a scissor to cut, a very small screwdriver to make the turns on the corners with the spline material right inside here. And then last, we're going to need something to cut it, whether it's a razor blade or a straight razor knife or whatever, but it needs to be very, very sharp to cut through the screen material. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to leave this stuff here on the side for now. We're going to come back to that in a minute. What we're going to do now is we're going to make the frame itself. Now, what we know is that this frame here, you want to have it the exact same height and the exact same width. Now, obviously, the top width, we're not going to be able to tell what that top width was or bottom width because you can see it's bent in here. So what we need to do first is to measure the sides right here and see what the actual length is. And here we have 74 3/4. So we're just going to confirm on this side here. It's also 74 3/4. Now, we're going to cut the channel itself to 74 3/4, but you remember we have these end caps right here. These end caps are going to go in there. So the entire length has got to be 74 3/4. So we are going to cut it to that length, and then we're going to put our ends in, and we're going to cut it down to get it to the exact 74 3/4 that we need. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring this here, like this. Then open up our ends. Now again, these ends are actually sold in the store where you purchase this channel. And it's usually wherever the screen material would be because, a lot of times the guys in the stores don't know exactly where everything goes. All right, so we're going to take these. We're going to take this, put this end. I always say, measure twice, cut once. So if you're not sure, it's always better to have it just a little bit longer and you can shorten it versus having it a little too short and you can't make it longer. So we need to have it exactly this length. We're going to have this piece here, this little end piece. It's got to go in here like that. So we're going to take this and bring it here. Now I am going to make this just a tiny bit longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it right here. Like that. I marked it. You can see I have it on a piece of wood to cut it because it's a lot easier to bring it up off the ground, or if you're doing it on your workbench, so you can make it a nice even cut. You want to put your saw on there and you want to go very, very slowly to get it started. And now you can see we have a nice clean cut on the end right here, so you just go very slowly and you'll have it, cut through nice and easy. Don't push it too hard because you will definitely damage it. All right, now remember, we are going to have to shorten this down because we made it just a little bit longer. So we're going to put our one end in here, bring it back until it's right at the very end. We're going to put our other end in here. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit long. So what we need to do is we need to take off just a little bit more to get it down to that point right there. So we're going to measure it, and we're going to see how much we have to take off. All right, so now we're going to cut that off, and once we cut it off, this piece will push in there, and it'll be the right length. So we're just going to cut this off right here now, and then we'll come back here. And there you can see it's exactly 74 3/4. So now we're going to make one more of these for that side over there, and we know that we need to actually duplicate this one. So we're just going to take these ends off like this, and like this. We'll bring our channel over here. We lined our ends up exactly over there, and we're going to put our mark right here, like that. And now that's where we have to cut it, and it'll be the exact same length as this one right here. So let's cut that off right there. These are our two sides. We're going to put these right there for now, and now we're going to make this bottom piece from here all the way over to here. So we're going to measure it, and we'll see how long that is, and that's how much we're going to cut that. And this particular one is 30 3/4 exactly, so that's the size that we're going to need. 30 3/4 from the far end to the far end. We're going to put our one end back in here, like this. These we're just going to put here for now. And now we need to measure 30 3/4 from the very end here down to where I'm going to cut it. Now remember, we're going to put this in, and this particular piece here is 3/4 of an inch. So we are going to cut this exactly 30 inches. this. We're going to take this channel here, put it on like this. Make sure you put your channel on correctly. Channel faces to the inside. And we're just going to make sure that everything lines up correctly. And that's it, our channel is now made. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to roll out the material. Let's get this out of here first, and then we'll come right back. So what we're going to do is we take our material now, take our scissor, and it's going to be overlapping 1 inch over the top here and at least 1 inch on either side. So we're going to do that right now. It doesn't have to be 1 inch, but you have to have at least 1 inch. Which we do. And now we're going to cut off this material here. Okay, and now we'll take the material and just get it out of our way, put it off to the side. We're going to take our wheel, the wheel that we use to roll the fabric into the channel itself. There's 2 different ends on here. This end, as you can see, is actually beveled out, where this end over here is concave. And the reason it's concaved is because when you put the spline in here, this tool goes over the top of the spline, and this groove keeps this from sliding off while you're pushing it in place. So this one we use to put the screen into the channel, and this one we use to push the spline into the channel as well. All right, so let me get that set up. Okay, so now we're going to take our tool, and the tool is actually rounded. On the one side it's rounded, and remember the other side has that V notch in it. We're going to take the tool and where it's rounded like this, and we're going to run it in the channel, and we're going to push the screen material into the channel, and we're going to install the spline just on the bottom portion. So we're going to put this in here like this, and just run it against here, very easy, and the screen pushes down into the channel. And you'll notice it starts to pull out. It's a little bit loose, but we're just going to push it across, get our groove, like that. Now we'll take our spline material, put it in here, put our tool on it just like this, hold the spline material up, and we're going to push it in just like that. Now when you come to the corner, we're going to stop right there. We're just going to make sure the material is pushed in, the spline is pushed in all the way, which it is. Now we're going to take our screwdriver, and we're going to push the spline material into the corner, but first we're going to recess it in. I'm going to pull the screen that way a little bit. Now we're going to just put this groove with the spline tool again. we're going to make our turn right on the end right here, and we're going to use the screwdriver to push the spline material into the turn. And now once it's in the turn, then we can take the part that's actually got the V-notch in it again. I'm going to push this down here first, like this. We're going to stretch our material out so that it's all the way to the end. Alright, we're just going to run this all the way up to the end now. And push our spline material back in here. Now we're going to make that turn right there again. Take our screwdriver. I'm going to pull the material just a little bit taut. And now we're going to push this back into the groove. I'm going to make sure that the spline is all the way. We're going to pull our material taut. We're going to push this down into the groove, and then we're going to make our turn one more time. Okay, now we take our razor blade and we're going to come over here where the spline material touches into the metal frame. We take our razor blade, put it in here like this, and just run the razor blade along the spline material. And we take the razor blade and we just cut the corner, and we continue. And that is our new screen. Now we're going to take this new screen, put it back into the door, and we'll be ready for the summertime. All right, as always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.